Hey, Dan Fitzpatrick here, stockmarketmentor.com. I'm coming to you from the airplane hangar here in Kodo. So I want to look at DVA here, and this is why. This is showing you what the chart was looking like on March 27th. I was going through my scans and screens and stuff like that and found this stock, and I noticed that the growth rate, the earnings per share growth rate over the last several years is actually pretty small, like 3% or something like that. It's just not a real fast growing company at all. But the growth, it's steady. Like there was a real steadiness in earnings, in revenues, and in profit margins. And those are the big three that I look at. And so over the past few quarters, they've gradually been increasing. So when I look at the low, relatively low earnings per share growth rate over the last several years, okay, that's not like a screaming positive or anything. That's like, well, okay, well, it's growing. But then I look at the fundamentals as far as the quarterly growth rate in these things, in earnings and revenues and profit margins. Then I see a business, it's kind of like reliable. It's like an old pair of shoes that are just always really comfortable. Let's say an old pair of jeans, because the shoes can wear out. So I started looking at the chart and thought, well, all right, this thing is trading like it's about ready to blast off. At least I don't see anything troubling in the fundamentals. In fact, I see a lot of good things in there. And so when you see that, you got to go back to the chart. The chart's actually what brought me to this thing, not where I end up. But I actually started looking at the chart, checked the fundies, and said, okay, that's fine. Now I'm coming back to the chart. And what I saw was this triangle pattern here. And my point to our members was, okay, this is looking like it's ready to get set up. And so I set an alert at 79.10. I just wanted to give people the heads up that the stock was ready to go. This was the day when I said, you can buy this thing here. So a lot of people, including me, got into the stock right around here. And then we just have to kind of sit and be patient, see, because it's always nice when you buy a stock and it immediately rewards you, and you want to be rewarded. I prefer to be up that day, but that means the trade's really going to work out well. But if not that day, then at least within 2 or 3 days, I really want the market to tell me, yes, you were right to buy this stock. It doesn't have to be pounding the table, screaming in my ear, woohoo! I just want the market to be telling me that I was right to exchange my dollars for shares. And so we're sitting here waiting, and we don't really get it. It's just kind of farting around. And then not yesterday, this was it was on Thursday. We get this move here. We added to positions. This right now is my biggest position I've actually had in quite a while. And then boom, we get this move today. So this is one that you look at this and say, oh wow, that's a great trade. Well, it started with a great entry. It started with a low entry, what Mark Minervini would call a cheat, where you're getting in. Hang on just a sec. Hey, be quiet, all right? Can't you see I'm working here? If I don't work, you don't eat. Talking to my dog. She wants to play. So anyway, it starts with a good entry, because if you've got the good entry, then you have staying power. And so we're finally getting rewarded by this trade. And it traded on twice average volume today, over twice average volume, which is a pretty monster move. Now you look at it on the weekly chart, and if, not when, but if this thing can get past $90 or so, the way I'm looking at this is we'll call it a $25 move down. It's actually closer to 30, but we'll call it 25. So if it can break up past 90, well, what's 25? Okay, well, you don't have to do too much math here. 20 points is up at 110 bucks. So we're looking at 115 bucks, but we don't get there right, all at once. So the goal is here is to see if this thing breaks 90 bucks, and if it does, this is just the way stocks trade, they have a really good chance of going to 100. After that, we'll play that one day, 1 week at a time. But for now, I think you're a little late in buying DVA here. It's had up 7, almost 8% in a day, but it's popping out of a volatility squeeze. And that means that this thing has a lot of explosive power that's just now starting to be released. So we could see this thing really blasting off. The next stop here is 90 bucks. I want you to watch how that's going on Monday. And then if it's above 90, you're chasing, but you might be chasing a rocket ship. Now, speaking of Monday, I'm going to be trading the open live on Monday in a members only training session. No, we're not wearing the old members only jackets. If you're not a member and you want to get in there, this is one of the stocks that I'll be trading, as well as others that I'm covering in the weekend update video. But just join Stock Market Mentor. You get a free 30-day trial, and then you can sit in on that trading session and trade right along with me and Scott and Bridget and a lot of our members who are doing this. So this is a really fun time. I haven't done one in a while, but Monday I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be really, really mad if you're not there with me, okay? Seriously, I'm going to take it personally. All right, I will see you on Monday.